Good evening. Good evening, everyone listening to IMA IMA channel. Um, Tonight we are going to watch what's the start of Road Solo Semifinals, and yeah, it's classics tonight. It's not the best of disciplines, but obviously when semifinals come it becomes always better for racing because we can say the racing and the level should be high. This is not entirely true this night because I mean I think that probably tonight we are going to see some classics a bit unbalanced, but it happens. It happens, and everyone who is here, it's up for merit. It's obvious. But yeah, sure. I mean, probably with the, I mean, maybe with the different distribution of players, we will see different outcomes. Yeah, I mean, that's for sure, but we will see. And as of tonight, we are going to talk about the route because obviously the most important thing in PCM is the route. And tonight we are going to start with a long race because yeah, because it's Amstel Gold Race, which is a 2,264.2 kilometers. What to say about this race? I think that yeah, probably even sprinters can win in this race because Amstel, as always, it's it takes this race takes with it this component of the possibility of a sprinter winning. We remember from the past, but game dynamics have changed a lot. So I guess something can happen. But let's see. It will be really interesting to see different tactics. Different tactics are going to be also in the second stage. Akaroa Ashburton, 193.3 kilometers. A hill start and then a flat finish. Yeah, it looks like a strange race because it may be for sprinter, but who knows? You have to consider many things. The start is very hard, but with the fact that this race is flat, maybe the flat value has a good importance, so the sprinter may not suffer as everyone thinks. And in the end, we're going to have probably the toughest race of the lot, right? The Tasmanian Devil, a race we've seen in inline in some World Cup. This year it comes as a classic, and I think it may be a good classic. Probably, maybe for sure, the leader is certain. I think the leader is going to be the hill rider. So that said, I think we have analyzed the route, I think, in the best possible way. We can go because actually I wasn't aware of the fact that we already started, and we are following Group B here. Apparently, we have a stream for Group A. Luckily, thank you, Mendes. So I'm going to open it because it's very important for us in this multicast. At a certain point, I'm going out because I need to prepare myself some food. That said, we can follow this race because Snake actually, after 6 kilometers, is already on the attack. And he has attacked with the 77 sprinter, which is actually he has already gained 1 minute and 20 seconds. But the fact that he has attacked with the 77 sprinter is odd to me because I believe the 77 sprinter may be actually one of the possible leaders. I want to just something I want to ask to our director to show the final kilometers of the race. As you can see, I don't think the percentages are so high. So maybe, just maybe, no, I think for sure the 77 sprinter can actually keep the pace. The doubt is if the actual sprinter can keep it, but the 77 sprinter should be the leader here more than the hill guys, I believe. So we started. Okay, now as you can see, the road narrows. So we have a difficult part of the race because when the race is narrow, it's obviously a good pick, a good choice to be ahead. It looks like Group A is already in search of the start, and actually, Snake has gained 2 minutes and 29 seconds. This is a great move by him. Obviously, he needs not to exaggerate with the pace now because clearly, and that's wait. I mean, that's even more. I don't know how to say, but the 77 sprinter with that advantage, he will be the massive favorite for this race because he has already 3 minutes, and yet he has worked so much that this advantage is going to be cancelled by the fact that obviously he worked. Now it's Basso on the attack. Finally makes a move. He tries to gain some seconds, but obviously now it will be increasingly harder. Because for sure now the advantage is 3 minutes, and Joe and Leo are working here. Now Joe tries to attack, and Joe wants to catch Basso. He almost, yeah, he is closed immediately by Barn, I think. So now the situation is like this again. And so now, since they will stop, I think that, okay, now Snake has understood that he has to preserve a bit the sprinter, but it's going to be still a tough task to endure because obviously that sprinter worked a lot. And Joe goes again as soon as the road starts to rise. This time he has gained some seconds, but yeah, in this part of the race, with many climbs, with many up and downs, it looks difficult to break. In fact, as you can see, even Andrew Walker on the attack tries to join Joe. But actually, if attacks keep failing, he actually may gain some time. Now, big climb here, steep climb, 2029 seconds, 2029 kilometers from the finish. And Joe has actually gained almost a minute here, and the pace is very hard on this climb, trying to get the more advantage as he can. Behind, it's Barna leading the attack that makes a nine-man group form. I want to remind you who are the players, right? In Group A, we have Pompon, Daniel Miko, Mendez, Alder, Goga, Yanu. In this group, we have Barna, Snake, Andrew Walker, Leo Falandri, Bazo, and Joe Whiteley. So this is a very stacked group because the three strongest road players are here. And a big break is finally formed because everyone has three riders ahead. So the group now is perfectly split in two. As you can see, 80, 18 ahead, 18 behind. There is an attack by Basso that actually closes the break. So now Snake has reduced a lot his advantage because, yeah, 2 minutes now is at 23 seconds. But it's also true that actually he couldn't keep going all the same all alone. Obviously, it would have been it would have been better for him to have someone with him in this road. As soon as the road starts to rise again, attacks starts, and it's Baso attacking with Andrew Walker and Joe. They almost closed on Snake, and it's Andrew Walker making the most of the work here. Now Barna also put a man ahead, so this means only Leo has no representant ahead. We are approaching a difficult part of the race, and as you can see, the road is narrow. Now the steep sections are up to 20%, as you can see, and the group now is back together. But I believe after this climb, it's going to split under the work by Basso. And the group split now 20 riders ahead, 40 seconds on the second group. That's that's increasing now. And as you can see, Snake is launching the pace, so to avoid that the pace goes down too much. 58 seconds on this group. We are approaching another climb. As you can see, Amstel is full of climbs, continues up and down. Even if I mean, Snake is ahead with his full team right now, and that's why he's pacing a lot because he has his full team ahead, and obviously now he's trying to force the pace, and he should try to go because obviously if he stays in this group, um, he has to take everyone with him, but now it's difficult to go. So for now, he's just keeping the pace and he's avoiding that the group stops. So is making more difficult for the group behind. Obviously, we're climbing up until Drielandenpunt, which is a point in Netherlands where there is basically the state border with Germany and Belgium. That's why Drielanden, because three lands border, basically, that means. We are 198 kilometers from the finish, and there's another climb. And as you can see, roads. The bad part of this Amstel is that we don't have informations about climbs. We don't know which climb is climbed in that moment. But yeah, we are just enjoying every point where the road rises, and there are many in this race, as you can see. maybe the central part after a big start. I mean, the start and the finish of this race are very nice. In the meantime, there is an attack from the group behind because Joe and Barna are trying to close the gap on Snake, and they're trying to have a numeric advantage, and Snake immediately stops. And now it looks like Baso is trying to take the right position to attack on the next climb with these three riders. I think the 80 flat is going to be a very important rider in this race because of his flat and because of the shortness of climbs. Now Leo goes on this small climb because it wasn't even climbing that much, and he gains an advantage, and Baso immediately closes. Now it's the two of them, and they're trying to go while we climb to the redundant punta. Joe is behind, and I think he's going to attack soon because obviously he wants to close. So it's 3-3. Andrew Walker with some imagination tries to attack, but his attack just have the effect of closing on the break. So again, as you can see, the border, trade border, Germany, Netherlands, and Belgium. Okay. Okay. So, sorry for the interruption. We are 168 kilometers from the finish, and it looks like we have a break, but not everyone is represented here. So I guess someone from behind is going to close. Okay, we have Snake here. We have Andrew Walker, we have Barna, we have Joe, and we have Basso. So I think it's Leo again. Leo actually he doesn't look so present when it comes to attacks. Maybe he's reserving for the final, but usually when you start races constantly chasing, it's difficult to re-enter in the mood. So We are waiting. We'll wait. Maybe wins in the end, but 5 minutes again. Okay, we're back. 131 kilometers from the finish, and the group is compact. So every break attempt that there has been up until this moment, it's failed. I think players are going to keep their energies because now this part of the race isn't as favorable to attacks. As you can see, the road, there are some climb, and in fact on this one, it looks like Leo is trying to force a bit the pace, trying to be on the brake, trying to be the one initiating the brake.
The riders are in a portion above 10%.
But yeah, I mean, he's very, he's very tight watched. So it isn't happening. Now, good. Now Bazo goes. Bazo tries to go with three riders, and Joe is chasing him. No, it's Snake, Andrew Walker, Barna, always everyone reacting as it's depending on their life. And Andrew Walker now again he goes, and this doesn't look like a move to attack, but more as a way close on Bazo before he gets too dangerous. But as you can see now, the road isn't really hard. Now Andrew Walker gets to the front, but Snake and Joe together, they just close on the duo in front. And now this is a big forcing on this small climb. They are actually trying to break the group. And they actually made it because the group now is 22 people within within it. And there are 14 behind, 14 riders behind, but yeah, the race wasn't so convinced here. So actually, nothing really is happening in this race up until this moment. Um, yeah, now Joe tries, but he can't properly go because he's chased. He's kept under the eye by Barna and Andrew Walker. Andrew Walker was making basically the only race that actually. Barna dropped. Barna dropped. I think he's coming back, but he risked a lot because the others didn't want to sentence him actually. But if someone wanted to sentence Barna, this would have been a really big problem for him. Oh no. And now again, the group is basically stopped because they've seen every break attempt isn't actually worth it. I think Leo is playing the race for the sprinter because Um, I mean, the reason behind the fact that he is actually not
He's off his
attacking
nose. The sponsor won't be there
is
to push.
maybe this, but I don't know. Andrew Walker, as I was saying, is riding the only race that can actually lead to a result for him. So, trying to have a sprint.
A courageous rider is looking to break away.
In fact, he is actually closing a lot of gaps, and he's paying a lot of attention in front of the group. I mean, he isn't playing bad, but obviously he isn't trying anything that's different from following, and that's all he's doing. But obviously, it looks like it's his best chance to get in the final, a final where three places looks booked, but obviously anything can happen. I expect an important elimination is in this race. No, ho sbagliato. Vabbè. Okay, my actual dinner is ready. No, it isn't ready yet. In the meantime, we have a steep climb here, and Joe is trying to pace
He's going to take them out
because he
right now.
wanted to come back on the group ahead. Because Basso and Andrew Walker they were still ahead, and now we have 12 riders. 12 riders, yes, which means four players are represented ahead. Not everyone is ahead
From the
though.
back like a
It
greyhound.
looks like Barna and Leo have lost the cut here, and
Starting the race.
to be honest, the
Doing
group
so by the book of
has
the book.
break, and again we have Snake and we have Andrew Walker on the attack, which is a dangerous attack if they work.
A rider just launched an attack.
And why do I think that this attack is dangerous? Because I think that if the three big players in this lobby actually start watching each other, it risks to become a difficult race. So I think we'll have to see if they are willing to take the weight on them, and it looks like someone joined E1, and it looks like it was Joe on the attack. Now, three people working ahead, people working behind. It's kind of a difficult situation, but behind we have two Frenchies and one slow. No, I thought that they were all Frenchies, and if it was all Frenchies, I mean, they would have surely worked together. As it is now, I don't know. Let's see, because now they have 1 minute advantage and they're entering the hardest part of the race. Now, as you can see, Snake is pacing very hard because he's understanding that his break can be dangerous because it's 3 versus 3. But they obviously have to manage their energies because it's still long until the finish. And actually, I think that this break, unless someone doesn't go hard, has a good chance to finish. Even if obviously Andrew Walker now will work a bit less because he's only with two riders. Obviously, he has worked so much until this moment. on closing every gap when he saw them. So yeah, it truly worked a lot. Now Snake tries to go alone again. I don't know why. This isn't what he should do. This isn't what he should do because I mean he has more chances if they work together. I know that maybe cooperation isn't the best right now, but he should still work with the others because it's the only chance he has to get to the finish with this break. So with the narrowing of the race, we are starting the hardest part of the race here. And now Bazo is on the attack. 35 seconds. Obviously, not seven. I don't think this break is going, but it's always dangerous to see Bazo with a gap in a race like this. And Andrew Walker still working more of everyone else. I think he, as Snake, probably are going to be, yeah, the worst two players in this race. I mean, in terms of results, because they're spending so much energy. But also Joe
Look out, he's breaking away.
is spending a lot. But now Barna goes on the attack. He joins Bazo, but Bazo accelerates because he doesn't want Barna with him. And behind them, a group of players, five riders has formed. And let's see who are their name. It's three riders from Leo, two riders from Joe, and after a brief acceleration by the group, everyone is back together. Now, 30 kilometers from the finish, and Joe takes the lead right now in the peloton. We are approaching the last climb to Kauberg. So I guess we're approaching the decisive moment of the race. Every climb now will be worth something because obviously every climb is important for the placement of the riders. Also to see who is going to lose more riders in the way to Bergen tablet, and as you can see, the percentages aren't so steep, apart from the central climb of the three last climbs. Now the group is stopped, and again it goes Bazo.
That's really a punchy
Bazo
attack.
goes again. He tries to anticipate the climbs, but everyone was watching him, and they close. And now the train of Snake on the left, train of Bazo on the right. He loses a rider. Someone is losing riders. Actually, Barna lost one. Bazo lost one. But it's obvious because actually, I mean, at least they worked. They worked a lot. Andrew Walker now losing a lot of position, which can be dangerous because now he has to regain the positions, but he actually regained them so fast. Now Kauberg, last climb up to Kauberg, and Andrew Walker lost again positions.
The riders are
The
entering the
pacing
last
is made by
2 kilometers of the start.
Barn on Kauberg. And now it's the last 15 kilometers. It looks like it's going to be a race for the sprinter. Let's see who are the riders in the Leo's train, please. Leo has okay, Alaphilippe, Van der Poel. So I think Leo is going for the flat guy. Of the day. Last climb of the day. Then it's only Bemellerberg until Bergen Tablet. It's a 25 riders sprints.
Only 10 kilometers left.
So pay attention to blocks here because it's very important the positioning. Big forcing by Leo here with Alaphilippe and Foss in the first positions of the group. And now the road narrows here, 7.3 kilometers. Pay attention to this part because obviously with narrow roads it's going to be a problem. The road now enlarge again, and now Bemellerberg here. And now who has more energies is going to have the best positioning on this climb, but even if this is decided by PCM gods because of the turns. And it looks like Andrew Walker has a good positioning. Leo then also Barn and Snakes now this turn, and it's the sprint is going to be launched now. Andrew Walker still the best positioned, and but it looks like he's going for the hill rider, and now Bazo on the center of the road. This starts his sprint. Bazo versus Andrew Walker. Bazo versus Andrew Walker. Bazo and Snake,
A really
and it's
powerful
Bazo
comeback.
winning the
A
race. Third
great
place for
victory.
Andrew Walker, fourth place for Leo, fifth place for Joe, and sixth place for Barna. And now I think we're going to follow Group A because Group A actually. Okay, Mendes isn't streaming. Okay, we don't have the stream for the other group. Let's go. We're now on the group A, where we don't have at the actual. Now we have the streaming, but they are very far from the finish. They are 78 kilometers from the finish. I think we are going to pay attention when they arrive. And we are going to comment only the main group, so the group B. In the meantime, we have a break ahead, 22 riders. And yeah, the group behind is with Goga and Zwegzen is doing a great effort trying to chase them because we have Daniel Miko on the break with this full team. That's why Goga is forcing so much in this part of the race because Miko is very dangerous. And finally, after a long chase, Gog actually managed to close on the group. Ah, no, I think the French team we've seen it's Pompon, not Daniel Miko. So Pompon tried to attack with his full team. Who knows who is this Pompon guy? Because he's actually a mystery. By the way, I have to tell you, PCM is a French-based game, but this year is the most French-based game I've ever seen because Frenchies are so overpowered in this game. It's unbelievable. Miko is turned into a PCM god, like yeah, I mean, like without any notice of it. So when we're going to have the stream of Group B again, because you closed it. Vale, lo stream del gruppo B è chiuso. Discord. Ah, ok. Well, I think the race is going to continue like this. We are seeing a forcing by Swagzen. Swagzen is actually trying to go with his full team. Big forcing by him. And he actually is taking a big group with him. And now Goga has to close. Goga is the only one taking the responsibility of closing again on every gap. So Goga is risking a lot. Goga is really risking a lot. I mean, why I think he's risking? Because I think that
You've got to know what you're doing.
yeah, I know the stream is started on Group B, but closing on every gap and doing these massive efforts, he's going to pay
Falling
it
behind. Team
probably.
leader is falling behind.
Okay, now let's follow Group B again because we have a pretty interesting race in New Zealand here, and we have the climb to Broshery, 6.5 kilometers at 9.9%, which is a pretty steep climb. Yeah, and it's in the start. So now, in watching how these climbs are going to be climbed, we are going to see if the sprinters can actually win this race or not. I think yes, but I don't know if someone took the sprinter. This should be something EMEA should work. Mhm. Okay, many took the sprinters actually. I didn't see Baso. Did Baso took the sprinter? No, he didn't took it. I think Baso is the only one not having the sprinter right now, which he highly anticipated to me. But let's see, because maybe these climbs are going to be too much of an obstacle for the sprinters. Let's see. Andrew Walker has already lost the sprinter, Syriza. Barna has recovered it, but by a miracle. Joe has it ahead and is on a four-rider break together with Baza.
Watch out. A team leader is falling behind.
And I'm finally finished my meal. Duo Shell Peak was going to be actually the next climb, next small climb. And let's see Bazo now trying to join the group with the two missing riders from their team, and look at how sprinters are suffering. Not Leo's, because Leo has the 77 sprinter. So Leo and Baso didn't took the sprinter,
The riders are in a portion above 10%.
and probably they are the only two players not having done that. Look at how climbs are being paced. EDM, Dio Madonna, okay. Okay, Andrew Walker and Barna with the 82 sprinters. Okay, everyone else says the 77. Okay, so Barna and Andrew Walker are trying the bold move because I think with just two of them, it isn't going to be easy to lead the riders to the sprint. I mean, it's probably going to be impossible. And we are going to see why on this pigeon peak, which is going to be the first cobbled climb. To be honest, it isn't really cobbled, but it's going to be gravel more than it. No, it's cobbled. It's 3.3 kilometers at 10.9%. And Syriza is going out. Barna is there. Barna is there. So he's actually keeping Demar for the moment. Andrew Walker has lost already, and I think he's losing many riders. He will need to do the whole race with two riders. This is going to cost him a lot. Barna seems to be defending, but Joe is pacing very hard now because he obviously wants to make the race for the 77 sprinter, obviously. And as you can see at the end of the cobble section, because it's not gravel, the only rider missing, the only player with missing riders looks like Andrew Walker. I think he has, yeah, he has almost lost his rider because Syriza is almost dying. And now Joe goes again because the 77 sprinter is so comfortable with this kind of race, and it fits. Yeah, I think it's going to be properly for the 77 sprinter. This race is still made for him. That's the lesson. If there aren't a race for the 77 sprinter, just invent them. Now, Andrew Walker is back, but I bet he's going to suffer a lot now. Now, small climb, and he's already on the verge of dropping, but now we're going to witness that steep wall, which is Duvauchel Peak. And believe me, I think it's going to be tough. It's going to be also in cobble or gravel, we are going to see. Yeah, it's going to be gravel. And Andrew Walker is already losing. Okay, now it becomes
The riders are
again
going through a catch-up
cobbles.
portion with percentages
Andrew
up
Walker
to
was losing
50%.
again. And Piper's Valley is the climb actually. 4.4 kilometers at 11.5%. Yeah, this is a big climb. This is a big and hard climb. Bazo is keeping a steady tempo because yeah, I think he wants to catch Joe, but he obviously needs not to force the pace too much because obviously otherwise he is going to put his 77 sprinter more at risk than Joe is putting in because it's better to have 30 seconds advantage than having 30 second disadvantage, which is Captain Obvious, obviously. But let's see, because on these climbs, it is of the capital importance being ahead. If you're ahead, maybe
Falling
your
behind, a team
sprinter
leader is falling
drops, but
behind.
yeah, it's going to be very tough for Seeds and Andrew Walker. But at least he has just one rider with him, and the pace by Joe, I mean the pace by Basler has actually forced a good peloton. He won at the end of this the Dovoshel climb, Dovoshel Peak, and Piper's Road. Now, battles for riders, and I think he's going to work. And yeah, Andrew Walker, I think he is going to stop the pace because obviously he will try to take Syriza back, but it's going to be tough because Syriza was dead. And now, I mean, This is a great situation. For Bazo, for Joe, for Leo, and Snake, because they're actually going to fight for the win if the situation stay like
This climb
this.
is feared by many
Middle
riders.
road
Some of them
climb
are very
2.3
tough.
kilometers at 13.5%, even higher percentages than before. And now behind they have to force the pace because obviously this is a situation that not to be underestimated. Look at the percentages. Look at this turn, how steep it is. This is a very hard climb. 19%, 20%, 21.4%. And Joe is forcing the pace because he wants to come back on the first group. He wants to come back. Pidcock suffering a lot, but Joe has made the cut from the group and now he's trying to rejoin the group ahead. And there is a good advantage right now because they have over 1 minute. And Barna is working now. Now Barna has the main work to do because obviously, I think he lost the sprinter. Obviously. Syriza is gone, long gone, actually. So no race for sprinter. This is for sure because climbs were very hard. Now this break has 1 minute advantage, and yeah, it looks like the goal of making the race about the 77 sprinter has been made, but it was quite simple. Now let's see because Joe has the a good advantage in terms of riders ahead, and now Bazo too. But the group behind is going strong because Leo is trying to get to attack three riders in the group ahead. He made it. And now it's going to be a difficult story for the group behind. They were already in a bad position, but now with Basil and Leo ahead, he will have to work even harder to get to catch them. And yeah, they made a big effort. In fact, they closed it. They closed the gap, and now I think it's going to be a boring race probably.
A rider just launched an attack.
Okay, we go in Group A for a moment because we are 44 kilometers, 46 kilometers from the finish. Also because the interesting part in the first race in the Group B, second race of Group B, obviously has finished. We are now in the interesting part of first race for Group B, for Group A, sorry, and we have a seven rider breaks ahead. And Pompon is closing the gap with the big forcing now because there was Alder on the attack with four riders. He tried to do something, but yeah, that just didn't work. But it looks like by looks of the look of the situation, looks like the group that is going to play the race is going to be a little more selective than the one in the other group because they are already 27 here and it looks like there are some riders in clear inferiority. And Pompon goes, this is a smart move by Pompon. Yeah, guys, this is a very smart move. Now Miko is working because, yeah, I mean, I don't know who this Pompon guy is because I feel like he is a bit too good for being a classic no-namer, but we are going to see. I would like to see how he's going to pace on this climb. No, he's going to pace like a normal, yeah, like a normal player. Maybe too conservative. Zwegson is trying to open the gap with the group, and he actually made it. So now we have Pompon, Zwegson ahead. Mikos lost Christoph, so he's down to 4 riders, and it's only Gabriel Zabir working, which is already enough probably, but let's see. Because Mendez doesn't look like he is interested in facilitating the work for Migo, but the group comes back at the start of this climb. But Swagson goes again on the climb. He works hard, and the group gets again very very long, very stretched. But yeah, the race situation is back together. 25 riders. So we are going to see the battle for positioning in on the final 3 climbs, and then on Bemelerberg. Now, obviously, riders are waiting. And now Pompon goes again. This is a very aggressive behavior for him, and we are going to Kauberg, which is the next climb, Kauberg, and turn on the left. Kauberg starting and Zwegson forcing the pace. He's trying to make separation from the group. He actually couldn't because Goga worked well. Miko is playing for the 77 sprinter. This is an interesting news. And now the last climbs are going to be there. Yeah, the small climb that's next, and then Bemelerberg. And let's see on this climb what's going to happen because this climb is very short, but it's very important for positioning because it ends up in the last 10 kilometers. Last 10 kilometers, and now Goga has the best positioning. Mendez basically isn't doing anything, which means he could be a risk for the others because he has energies. But now the road narrows, and it looks like Pompon knows the race very well because he actually picked the right position, right moment to be in that position at the start of narrow roads. Now we are going to start Bemelerberg, which is going to select the final group that's going to play for victory. And the last turns, if PCM gods are good with you, you end up after the turns in the good position. 17 riders are going to play the race, and it looks like Goga is in the best position. Now Pompon is the first now, and Zwegson looks like he has lost a bit his man. Alder's trying to launch. Miko is a bit close down. 2 kilometers and the sprint is starting. Pompon ahead. Pompon versus Goga looks like the sprint, but also Swagzone in the center is going to be blocked. And it's Goga versus Daniel Miko. Daniel Miko dies on the line, and it's Alder winning. It's Alder winning. Ahead of Pompon, ahead of Swags, and fourth place and fifth place for Miko. Sixth place for Goga, and sixth and last place, which is the eighth place in the race, but the sixth place in the game between players for Mendez. Bad race for Mendez. I actually thought he has more energies, but he had less energy because we've seen his riders die like flies.
That's right.
And we come back to Group A, to Group B. So the next, okay, T2. We're going to follow T2. I guess this is the channel. So let's stay in this group because there were 31 riders after the climbs. There are 31 riders now. Yeah, Syriza is gone, and I think also Demar is gone. It was too hard for the sprinters, but it's just going to be a sprint.
A rider on the Multicast
Unless
alone.
there is an attack here, and yeah, it's still those three, the best three players in lobby. Snake has six riders. That's good for him. That's a good featuring. And he's trying to close, but it's difficult to close on Bazo because Bazo is launched at full force right now. Yeah, he's alone though, so
There's a rider trying to break away from the bunch.
attacks are intensifying, but I mean, it, there is a full group, so it's difficult to go. Also, race is basically all on straight roads. It's difficult to make any difference. And now, I mean, there is no risk that sprinters are going to be back. So there is no risk. Well, can I see? Can I say this race is not the best made I've ever seen? But it doesn't. It isn't so important to me, you know. Um, the fact is that I don't like the stage per itself, not because of how it is made, but because it is too obvious to play, and it's going to be a sprint. I don't know if it's going to be a reduced sprint in the end because there are still some cobbles. I think it's going to be one cobbles again, as it is been until now, but it's going to be sprinting, sprinting, sprinting. Yeah, they're going to be one star. I don't know, guys. I mean, it's a bit. I think it's a bit of a disappointing race because it isn't going to be any selective from now on. As it is now, we will have many surprises. Well, I mean, I won't tell you the results until now because the classification is the same as the finishing order, so no need. We are on the Dromore Hatfield Road, which is the first of the last three cobble sections, which aren't exactly cobbles because it's one star. They're going to. I think the only one that is going to have a real effect, it's going to be the last one because when the last one comes, it's going to be when it's going to be the sprint preparation. So the high speed, maybe those are going to consume energy. So was managed well the energies. Will have a bit more in their legs in the final sprint. But I don't know. I really don't know how to interpret this race because it's strange. Now, the second Dromore Redfield Road is only 1.9 kilometers long. Um, there is a forcing by Baso, which isn't really having any effects.
That's really a punchy attack.
Now he goes.
The riders are entering the last 15 kilometers of the stage.
Now 13.2 kilometers, and yeah, it's going to be clearly a sprint at Burns Road. So it's going to be the last, and it's going to be basically a flat race that's only been good in the first 70 kilometers. Then shit race,
The finish line is getting close. The riders just passed the 10 kilometers road sign.
and the trains are launching actually. Obviously, the trains are going to be a bit more fatigued
The teammates of the main sprinters are
because
passing
I'm
them
a
as they
little
spread
more
out.
jaded
So the
because
stage will end up in a mass
of the
sprint.
cobbles. That's going to be maybe it's going to influence on the sprint timing after this because I think yeah the helpers are dropping like flies. Baza's the best positioning, but maybe he's not in the best
Fast
position because
runners
he
are
has
heading
still
wide.
no, he has still four riders, so maybe he's in the best position after all. Let's see Joe because now Joe is ahead. Joe is ahead. 3 kilometers. Now the sprint is going to be launched. And it's 2.8 kilometers. And on the left, we have Andrew Walker, who is already launching 2.1 kilometers. And it looks like it's going to be a sprint. And Joe is in the best. Joe, no, it's Snake in the best position. Now we choked the bit to the sprint, and it's Bazo is going to be passed on the line. That's it,
What?
and it's Andrew
Victory!
Walker
He didn't
winning.
overextend himself.
It's
He was
Andrew Walker
second slowest
winning.
today.
Ahead of Joe Whiteley and Snake. No, it's probably yeah, it's Snake. And guys, this means we will probably have Andrew Walker in the final. Well, this is actually the most um, uninteresting race I've ever seen, probably. Even if the start was good. I really liked the start, but it's not the finish. Yeah. Well, I'm very curious to see the situation in Group B because I think it may be really unprecedented, and more than unprecedented, it may be really difficult to anticipate because Andrew Walker now has a foot and a half in final, which is already something to be very, very astonished. Especially because this means that one between Joe, Leo, and Basil are going out. Unless unless something big happens. And something big can happen in this Tasmanian Devil, which they are starting. We have the classification of Group B, and it's Andrew Walker 150 points, Mogzos 135 points, and Joe Whiteley 96 points. But Snake is on 88 points, so Snake can still actually progress. Fifth place for Barna, 68 points, and Leo is last, 60 points. Guys, that's kinda unpredictable. We say we go in Group B in Group A for the start because they're on climbs. And Alder is on the attack already. Pompon too. It looks like in this group only Pompon took the sprinter at the moment. Yes, yes, guys. The 77 sprint is the leader here again, obviously, but only Pompon has took the leader, the 82 sprinter. And Tidu is showing us the climbs. Very, very nice of him. And we are on the climb to Brasserie, 6.5 kilometers at 9.9%. Uh, this is an art climb as we already seen before. And I mean, I'm curious because the fact that this semifinal is less stacked than the other means maybe something different can happen. At least I hope, because in the other group it was one of the most boring races I've ever witnessed, and it was unworthy of a semifinal, I believe. Look at how riders are suffering here on this climb. And now this situation can become interesting because now people can't actually stop because Alder is ahead and he's trying to gain hill time. He's on Le Bons Bay Hill and he started here and the group behind has a kick start because obviously the usual thing. And it looks like the only player in difficult now is Pompon, but because Pompon has the 82 sprinter, the full now there is the full group. Swagzon is trying to break from this full group now. Swagzon is trying to go. We are now on Group A, and on Group B, sorry. And okay, we are in the start, but obviously I don't think the start is going to be as interesting as in the other stage. But yeah, Andrew Walker, Barna, and Basso, and Joe and Snake in the break. No, maybe Joe isn't here, but Snake for sure is. And they are now climbing Grass Tree Hill, and Joe closes down the break. I will still go on Group A is going to start soon, the cobble climb. So we stay here. I believe we stay here for a moment. Then we go back to Group A because I think it's going to be more interesting than we're following them indefinitely. Grass Tree Hill, which is ending here, and it looks like Joe or Snake is going to take the first place in this climb. Obviously on this KOM, but obviously KOMs aren't worthy in this race. This isn't in line.
End of the break line. Pack.
Yes, I wouldn't expect to list in this kind of competition, but we have. Now we are at the start of Pigeon Peak. We've seen it. We've seen all these climbs are very hard. This one is the less hard probably. Pigeon Peak, and let's see what's going to happen because obviously they already have killed the only sprinter because Pompon is already behind, 2 minutes behind. But obviously now it may become a race on who kills more 77
That's really
sprinters.
a punchy attack.
So let's see, because Alder looks like he wants to cause troubles on the peloton on this steep section of the climb. Was it a bit harder on the cobbles? I think we would have seen a massacre, and probably it would have been way better as a
Ryder
race.
taking his chance alone.
Swagson is trying to close on Alder on the easiest part of Pigeon Peak, easiest by a matter of say because it still
Oh, the
was
pace
up
is
to
too hot for certain
9%.
riders.
Now the roads flattened and the group split. The group split a lot. And let's see what happens because yeah, Miko now makes the gap grow, and Pompon, who was the only rider not in the break, now is trying to go, and he's actually closing on the break actually, but closing definitely because he's taking the full peloton with him.
Look out, he's breaking away.
Mm. See, after the climbs, we're going back to B because it seems like we are going to watch a gruppo compatto until the finish, unless something very funny happens on this Piper's Valley. 4.4 at 11.5%. This is like having Flanders walls, but 10 times longer. And Alder with the base again. He's trying to make the race very hard. Miko is pacing behind him, but it's difficult to make gaps in this stage. We've already seen because the cobbles is like non-existent, so the group isn't going to break anytime soon, I believe. Alder is going to keep the advantage, but going to be hard to keep it after the climbs, especially because he has only three riders. But yes, I mean the group is now very long, considering we are on this kind of climb, and yes, the stream actually blocked, so I have to recharge for a moment. I think the group may break as soon as we join. We are on top of Piper's Valley. In fact, it breaks. It actually breaks. We have four players ahead with three riders. No, it's most with two, and Zwegson now is forcing the pace. The group splits again, but no one is working, so I guess it's going to be everything together unless we start middle road climb, which is the last place where something good can happen in this race. Otherwise, it's going not to happen anytime soon. Ah, middle road climb. Start of the last climb of the day, 13.5%, as we already have seen. This is basically a Paterberg, but it's three times longer. No, way more than three times. There is a big forcing by Zwegson and Alder right now. Let's see if something big happens here, because the potential will be there, but Swexon is making a good use of preventing the group from breaking and having all six riders in the right position. I think Swexon is going to have six riders at the end, which is massive, and it's going to close a lot the race. Because who's trying to attack? I don't think anyone is trying to attack now. Well, Pitcock is dead, which is the flat guy. A rider, a very important rider, less for the chasing, but now the chasing is done by Miko. Mendez is actually keeping within the peloton, but obviously this attack isn't going nowhere. So 27 riders and anything else. Let's go back to group. We have a nice situation
Watch out,
actually.
your team leader is falling behind.
Yeah, the nice situation was killed immediately. So we have full peloton, only Joe ahead. Now Black Hill is actually a nice climb.
This climb features some dreadful percentages.
Now on this climb, Snake is trying to force. What's they climb? The group actually split a bit, but nothing really impossible to close, I believe. And in fact, Baso closes on the group. Now we're approaching Glenfern, which is an intermediate sprint, which isn't going to be obviously valuable for this race. I mean, I think this climb would have been better. I mean, if those are the races, I believe maybe Ronde van Vlaanderen isn't that bad.
We're halfway to the finish line. The team leaders should be coming more and more to the fore.
Now Baso goes.
Attack from a rider.
Baso and Andrew Walker. Andrew Walker obviously is marking his direct opponents because I think he wants to keep the actual plays. I think with the actual situation, he may be already sure of being in the final. I'm not sure of that. So pay attention to the situation now because we have a 19 rider peloton and we're starting Mugara Road, 5.1 kilometers on this climb. But yeah, I mean, This is again a long white road section, 18.2 kilometers. But yeah, I mean, Joe has the full team right now, and Snake. Snake is ahead with the full team. Leo is behind him with 3 riders. 22 riders, and now Baso has 3 riders there, and it looks like, yeah, for sure, right? Okay, Baso now closes the gap, and I think now Leo is going to try again to go. Or Snake is, I mean, Snake stopped, then he just started again at this point. Couldn't he? No, okay, he just stopped again. So on Mugara Road, we are going to see this race would have been better as inline because in inline was, I remember this race being very, very selective, which isn't being as it is now. Now McClay and Froome again on the attack. And since this is couples, riders actually don't rest.
There's a rider trying to break away from the bunch.
Okay, we're back, and we have Snake again on the attack. To be honest, he's risking a lot, and Andrew Walker is actually doing something he shouldn't do. Because he leader, he doesn't need this. He just, if Snake and Joe go, he's actually safe. So I don't get why he's attacking. This is a big mystery to me. I was checking for a moment Group A because, well, the situation is literally as we left it, so it's not important. Berthe dies. Now Black Hill, 7.3 kilometers at 5.4%, but it does hide a steep portion here. Barna is working hard, but I mean, Barna is penultimate, so it makes sense for
The
him to
rider
work
just
because
launched an attack.
he actually needs to catch the break
The
because he
rider's
needs
showing
to
a
win
portion
to
above
pass.
10%.
This climb is actually putting the riders in big difficulty. Snake, for example, he actually needed the the attack. I I don't think he needed to attack because he had 7 points of gap by Joe, which are a few. So I don't know why. And now Andrew Walker is risking a lot. Pay attention because I mean, in the first stage, it didn't pay it, but now the distance from the finish is way way less. And now Snake and Joe at this moment they are actually passing together. That's why Leo has to work. Leo has to work now. He's attacking, he's trying to go. And actually Baso is riding so conservatively that it doesn't look like Baso. Now, he's probably one of the few riders that still has the flat guy with him. He was waiting. Yeah, he was waiting Andrew Walker because probably he wants his help. Uh, yeah, I mean, this is a bad situation for him. This is a bad situation for those three riders. For Andrew Walker, this is being actually the worst situation he could actually put him inside. He should work really hard. He should work really hard now. They should work really hard before the start of the climb because if they are on the climb, it's difficult to close on the break. Well, I mean, at least if they keep the advantage as it is now, it's not going to be really, really hard. But obviously, they need to be at in a good positioning. Now, last climb, Collins Cup, which is the hardest climb, 6.6 kilometers at 9%. And the attack by Andrew Walker here. He's close by Snake and Leo, then Barna, and I think there's going to be way less helpers after this climb. But yeah, I think okay. Now Snake goes, and Leo tries to put Alaphilippe with him. But Snake is going so hard now. Snake is pacing very hard to put Leo in trouble. Only 10 riders behind. 1 kilometers from the climb, from the top of the climb, 10 riders behind. Let's see who is going to 9 riders, 8 riders. Yeah, it's going to be a very, very selected group here. And it's Tuka pacing Joe, and Joe now has a gap. Joe now has a gap. Joe has a gap 24 kilometers from the finish. Baso is the only one with 3 riders still in contention. And now Barna has to work because obviously, yeah, but I mean, Baso should work. No, Baso is doing the stupidest thing as he could possibly do. And Andrew Walker is in the worst possible situation. Now, Baso is obviously working. because he understood that was a stupid ass move. And he should now avoid to lose contact because Bazo, I told you, is risking everything now. Bazo is risking so much. Yeah, at the top of the climb, we are on the top of the climb, and Bazo joined them. So now the situation is very bad for Andrew Walker. Andrew Walker is risking actually to go out unless he gets on the first group. They're not working, so he may actually come back. He actually came back, and now Andrew Walker is back in contention for the final. Barna gets back too.
Tiger.
Oh, Mahmoud. Abukin. Okay. Sprinter. Okay, 3.6 kilometers in Group A. We are going to witness again a sprint in Ashburton, and it's Swagson in the best position. Alder is basically leading out Miko. Alder is leading out Miko, and Miko actually takes the lead. Gabriel Zabir ahead, and it's Miko versus Goga. Miko versus Goga. It's Goga winning. Goga wins the sprint ahead of Miko and Swagson. Fourth place Alder, fifth place for Pompon. And Mendez again is lost, and I think Mendez can be already considered out of contention. And now we're going to follow the final of Group B because they are 4 kilometers from the finish, 11 players, 11 riders, and it's going to be. Let's see who is going to win the sprint because this is going to be decisive for the group. This is going to be decisive, and it looks like Bazo is in the worst trajectory here. Bazo is launching. Bazo is launching. Joe launches early, and Joe goes with Andrew Walker on the wheels. Andrew Walker is passing Joe, and it's again Andrew Walker winning ahead of Joe. Incredible. This is incredible. This is incredible. And I think Joe is through, and maybe even Bazo is through. Huh. Andrew Walker has won the semi-final group. Well, this has been surprising. And we are waiting for the start of the last stage for tonight, for Group A. Just 5 minutes. I can already tell you the results of Group B. Andrew Walker, 2000, no, 250 points. Bazo, 170 points. Joe Whiteley, 166 points. And they are the three finalists from this group. Then Snake is fourth, 138. Barna is fifth, 86 points. Leo Falandri, 85 points, last place, which is a surprise. So it's been quite surprising. In the meantime, Group A has this classification right now. Alder 136 points, Goga second 125 points, Miko third 107 points. Wexon Sports 100 points, Pompon is fifth 95 points, Mendez is last 36 points. Apart from Mendez, I think everyone can actually uh, hope for a pass. So this last stage is going to be very important. Really, really important. So we're going to follow the last stage. There is a break. We have two riders ahead with 119 seconds. 1 minute and 19 seconds, obviously. There is an attack now by Swagzone with four riders and Miko with three, Mendes with three, Goga with two. After a bit of relaxing of the group, Alder goes and gets advantage. So Wexon is behind Alder now. We are those we have those TV showing by the stratosphere, so it's a bit difficult to catch who is who. But I think Wexon has four riders. Now the group is back together, and well, let's see what's happening. Alder again with Pompon with two riders. Goga is actually trying to keep the group. Okay, no, he was just on maintaining position and at very high value. Now let's see Miko because I think Miko is going to attack. Probably not yet, but soon. Well, now it's not the moment to attack for sure. Well, Alder kept Alder is keeping peeking at the right moment to attack, but we will see if this will work out good for him. Because obviously now Miko is trying to do what he knows better, obviously. Which is controlling the race, shutting it down, and now he goes. And Goga closes on him immediately. And now Wexton and Bandits put some riders with them. And now the break is formed down. They are closing on Tanina Bluff, which is the first hard climb of the first cobbled climb of the day. Gravel. Maybe it's more correct saying Now the group behind is trying to close already, 26 seconds, and they're dropping. I don't know who is dropping the bomb on trying to close. Well, it was Miko, obviously. Now with the break shot, let's see what's going to happen on Tanina Blef, which is going to be short climb, 6 kilometers. No, almost 7 kilometers. But the steepest part isn't started yet. And Alder has 1 minute 26 seconds, which is nothing, obviously. Um, there it goes. There the climb starts to go. And Zwexon now wants the first position in the group because I think he's going to force a bit the pace. Alder has lost a rider already. Obviously, Zwexon now is doing much of an effort, and now Miko, who is his direct classified classment opponent, needs to do this. Needs to pace and trying to close on him. Mendez actually is with Miko, with 3 riders, while Pompon has been dropped by Alder. Someone told Alder this is not going to be valuable for the for KOM classification. Yeah, for sure, someone said. To be honest, Tanina Blef isn't finished yet because after the climb, it's going to be a long section um, on downhill, where Pompon now is trying to close on Alder. And a group of 15 riders has formed right now. 15 riders compose the peloton, and 15 riders are in A1, which is now Alder has a 37-second advantage with the Pompon. They are at the end of the first gravel section, and they are approaching the second one, which is Black Hill. Hi to Ben Young, who actually followed. And this is the break. And we have Goga, who is completely excluded by the break. So now he needs to work, and he needs to work hard because he has 46-second disadvantage from the group. Obviously, Zwegson now has the full team ahead, so as Miko. This may be a situation where both of them goes through, eliminating Sogoga, who is actually in the second place. Well, the group is now back together because they slowed down a lot. But Alder again for with the base, Swagzen in second line, ready to overtake them, to overtake the riders by Alder. Let's see, because as the situation is now, um, I mean, I don't know why Alder is pacing this much. He doesn't need to, and he isn't in the position of saying. I'm comfortable, so I can do whatever I want. He is ahead, but not by that much. And now he goes again. And Zwexen looks like he wants to go again with this full team, and he has already lost Pitcock. Pitcock is the flat guy. The flat guy is no the couple guy, which is useless. In this World Cup has been useless. Alder gets the KOM of Black Hill, which isn't worth anything, but he still gets him gets it. Okay, the group is back together, and I think we're going to see some evolution of the situation after the intermediate sprint in Glenfern. And Zwegson goes, but only with three riders. He could go with the full team, and he stopped them. Why? And who is pacing? Mendez. Mendez is pacing, but he's already out. I don't know why he is pacing. Because his only way to pass is being first and second in this stage, which is pretty hard, if you ask me. But still, he's pacing. I don't know why. And still Mendez pacing, but now Wegzon is getting some advantage. 84 kilometers from the finish. He's almost taking on Mugara Road, which is the fourth to last climb, and Mendez is still pacing. Why that? I mean, if I was Wegzen, I will be super pissed by now because he actually kept Zwegson. Then he went searching for Zweg. It's something between Mendez and Zwegson that I don't know about. Because that's the only thing that comes to my mind. And Alder now with the big forcing, and Miko immediately behind him. Miko, you can take Miko by surprise. It's unbelievable. It's like he's on constant acids. And so Wright is the first at the top of Mugara Road. Now still a long way to go. A long downhill, which isn't properly downhill, but it's gravel. And Alder goes with Miko closing Pompon as the full train right now. He hasn't used any of his riders as of yet. That's unbelievable. And Alder tries to go again, and still Miko closes on him, which is, I mean, this is again something that doesn't make sense. Because for Miko, it isn't important to close on him, because, you know, Miko at this moment is true. If Alder wins, it's less points that Wexon can make. So Miko doesn't make sense. I mean, he's a great sprinter, but well, and now Black Hill again, second climb to this steep climb. Let's see, because as it is now, the race risks to be a nice sprint in the end between the punchers, probably, because I don't believe any other rider will, with the kind of ability to sprinting, can finish in the first group after a race like this. 55 kilometers from the finish, and it's Alder forcing again his pace. And again Miko. Why Miko is is constantly chasing Alder? This doesn't make sense. As where Miko's playing is, it doesn't make sense. And Miko's losing a player again, a rider again. Swagson is ahead too. Mendez is in fourth wheel, fifth for Pompon, and Goga is in the worst possible position because he has only three riders already at this point. Why? How? How did he manage to be in this bad position? I don't know, but he's risking to drop now. But to be honest, the Pompon is losing a rider finally. After 130 kilometers, he lost a rider. Alder tries again to go. Alder tries to go, and the hole doesn't open. Doesn't open, sadly for him. And so, only the last climb between a sprint and those riders. Ah, classics are so tough to watch, so painful to watch. Now, Pompon should be the one doing something, but I mean, Pompon is fifth, so he needs to win, and he's working he's working basically zero. So I think everyone is going to find him properly in the final part of the race. And he's going to have more riders than everyone else, except for Mendez to sprint, and he's going to pass. I believe Pompon is going to be in the final, and Mendez now goes onto the attack, but he couldn't. Couldn't go because Miko closed on him. Miko has three riders. Miko has three. Yeah, I mean, Miko is one of the people with the least amount of riders because he's closing on people he shouldn't close. He should only watch Swagzen, who has his same number of riders. Now let's see on Collins Cup what's going to happen because it's, as we already saw, a hard climb, 6.6 kilometers at 9%, and it's starting now. Starting now? No, now it starts. And Alder again pacing with Molano, and Miko is now in a bad position because he's going to get blocked by Swagzen. Mendez with the massive movement on the right hand side actually blocked a lot of players. And now Swagzen is in the worst possible position. I think it's going to be a sprint between those riders. I mean, it's going to be a reduced bunch field, but it's not going to be so reduced because they're still 22 and we are 3.6 kilometers from the top of the climb. And we've passed the hardest part of the climb. And Mendez's force is making a big forcing right now. Ah, obviously he's doing it because, yeah, he needs to do it. He's trying to drop everyone else. And actually, he's dropping the group. He has cut a gap 17 seconds, 20 seconds. Now Miko is intervening. But believe me, the race is already taking the head the road of Pompon. Now Miko and Wegson have dropped the rest of the group. Mendes should continue here. And Pompon is dropped. Pompon is dropped because red car. He has to recover and it's going to be... Yeah, he made it easily, but it was tough. And he has three riders now. He can sprint better than the others. That's for sure. And Miko now tries to go. Obviously, Zwegson closes on him. And Pompon loses a rider, so he's with 2-2. Big forcing by Zwegson. Big forcing by Zwegson trying to go. Big forcing. Miko is still on his wheel. Mendez has still three riders. And so 12 riders sprint, which is similar to what happened in the other group. And now Mendez should be the one. Mendez goes, and that's the right move to do. That's the right move to do. Zwegson is losing so much power with Froome, but he actually puts him with with Mendez, and now Mendez should go. Mendez should go because if he wants at least to win the stage, he needs to do this. He needs to do this absolutely. He needs to go because behind no one has the legs to go. Because if they actually consume helpers, and apart from Pompon, Pompon has the good amount of riders, and he still isn't working. Pompon isn't working, but I think yeah, Parepont is on trouble. And Mendez has been catched, but he still has a good advantage because I don't think now anyone has the legs to him to get the sprint. Let's see what's going to happen because now it looks like it's a sprint between Alder Zwegson. Zwegson has the lead right now, and on the left hand side we see Pompon, who is the best probably on energies, and in the sprint Alder and Zwegson. It's Alder in the lead. Has been jumped by Pompon. Pompon ahead of Goga and Daniel Miko and Pompon. Goga, Daniel Miko probably are through. And Swagzon is out too. So another big surprise after Leo Folandri. So many surprises, but guys, this is classics. Well, officially, I think we can conclude that this game is a disgrace. I can tell you this because this game. I didn't see in the end, sorry. Okay, so Group A, oh shit. Well, Pompon and Goga tied 195 points, but Pompon wins the group. And third place for Alder. 171 points, and Miko fourth with 157. Wexen is fifth, 125. Mendez is sixth, 54 points. And in 2 weeks, we are going to have the final, and the final looks like it's a strange final to be interpreted. First stage in Pienza, Pienza to Pienza. So it's in Italy. Cobbles and climbs. I think it's gravel. I don't know. Maybe it's going to be well. This is going for sure to be for the hill riders. Um, a lot of gravel though, so I'm curious to see. Then second stage, a mountain classic. I love mountain classics. And Lefkada in Greece. It's going to be a tough race. Climbs are steep. I think someone may have the temptation of playing for the hill rider, but I believe it's not going to be for the hill rider because it's very hard. And last but not least, Luxembourg Eiderscheid, 2028.9 kilometers. Just to tell you that we are going to witness a 700 kilometers final. And Luxembourg Eiderscheid is probably the strangest race in the whole lot because climbs, cobbles, the finish is on cobbles, which is dangerous for the sprint for sprinting logics. I mean for this final because I want to see how the behavior may make this race interesting. But I'm not so sure because, as you can see, the game is disgusting. So there's no way that can make this game better. But we hope at least that the best players are going to be rewarded by this final because obviously they deserve it. We have Bazo, Joe. The order will be, I think, in strength. Joe, Bazo, or Bazo, Joe. This is up to you. Alders is clear third. And then you have Goga, Andrew Walker, and Pompon. But as I can see, I can sense right now, I'll already tell that Pompon is going to win this final. I'm for sure. I'm sure of it. And I think it's going to be a second place for Bazo and the third place for Alder. Then fourth place for Goga, fifth for Joe, sixth for Andrew Walker. This is my prediction. And the last place for Joe is not because I believe he's not strong enough, but because I believe um, he's going to be he re, I don't know. This is my feeling. Like he risks to be boxed in a sprint, and then because this game is actually like this. Okay, since it doesn't look like anyone wants to interview, so guys, if no one wants to be interviewed, then we are going to close the lobby because tomorrow there's going to be tour final and guys, tour semifinal, sorry, and tour semifinal. it's it is very long, long and painful. Well, so yes, we'll see. Okay, tomorrow tour semifinal, and we will see now the route, and it is an hard route. I believe it's going to be a route where breaks are going to happen in the first stage and in the second stage. Bormio, Bergamo, and Ciconia, Asciano, so Monte Sante Maria, which is the usual Strade Bianche sector. Then Epinal, La Planche de Belleville, which isn't actually 227 kilometers, but it's way shorter, 173 kilometers. But as you can see, I think it's going to be an interesting stage because, um, yeah, it's not hard. So I think the GC is definitely not going to be for the climber, which is strange, but it is what it is. Yeah, sorry. But yeah, last stage Saint-Gervais Sestriere, which is yes, the same stage Chiappucci won in Tour de France 192. No, 1992, sorry. Okay. So this is the program for tomorrow. Keep up with us, and we are going to talk to you about Tour semifinal tomorrow. We're going to comment it. We're going to tell you about those, and come back together to see the PCM players struggle with this disgusting fucking game. Hello, everyone.